Haywood Hillyer III was, for more than 35 years, one of the most influential behind-the-scenes builders of the Louisiana Republican Party. Born in New Orleans on September 30th, 1937, Hillyer was shaped early by a deep appreciation for culture, community, and meaningful civic engagement, values that guided a lifetime devoted to public service and principled leadership. Outside politics, Hillyer was a champion sailor and a devoted jazz aficionado. At a time when segregation laws were still enforced, he regularly spent time with black musicians, listening to their stories about the dawn of the jazz age. These experiences reflected both his independent thinking and his respect for history, culture, and human dignity. Hillyer's academic path led him to Tulane University, where he studied as both an undergraduate and a law student. Inspired by the ideas advanced in National Review, particularly its advocacy of anti-communism and limited government, he founded the Tulane Conservative Club and launched a campus magazine, The Liberator. From its very first issue, Hillyer demonstrated remarkable ambition by securing an exclusive column from Arizona Senator Barry Goldwater. Several members of the Liberator's editorial team would later become federal judges, major party nominees, and Pulitzer Prize-winning editors, clear evidence of the early leadership and influence. While still a young man, Hillyer was also among just 100 conservatives nationwide invited to the Connecticut estate of William F. Buckley, Jr. There, attendees founded Young Americans for Freedom, helping transform modern conservatism from an intellectual movement into a powerful political force. Returning home, Hillyer made a bold decision. In 1958, when fewer than 10,000 Republicans were registered statewide, he joined the Republican Party in opposition to one-party machine politics. Over the decades that followed, he became a cornerstone of the party's growth. Working closely with future Governor Dave Treen, he helped shape early congressional campaigns and lay the groundwork for a competitive two-party system rooted not in division, but in shared ideals of liberty and honest government. In 1963, Hillyer was elected to the Republican Orleans Parish Executive Committee. 4 years later, he began the first of 6 terms on the Republican State Central Committee, where he became known as a trusted mediator. Fellow committeeman Charlie Dunbar echoed the famous E.F. Hutton commercial by writing to Hillyer's constituents that, "When Haywood Hillyer talks, people listen." Alongside his political work, Hillyer built a distinguished legal career. A respected New Orleans attorney, he served as president of the New Orleans Bar Association and held leadership roles in both the Louisiana and federal bar associations. In 1980, Hillyer served as Ronald Reagan's campaign chairman for Louisiana's 2nd Congressional District and as a member of Reagan's statewide steering committee. In 1988, he was selected as Louisiana's Republican National Committeeman. One of the most defining chapters of Hillyer's career came during the early 1990s, when former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke sought control of the Republican Party in Louisiana. Hillyer responded decisively, advising activists, guiding journalists, and authoring a state party resolution condemning racism and anti-Semitism. His leadership played a crucial role in preventing Duke from capturing the party and urged Republicans to make principled choices in the 1991 gubernatorial runoff. After that pivotal chapter, Hillyer stepped away from frontline politics, living his belief in civic duty over personal gain. He never sought favors or profit, choosing instead to mentor others and serve quietly. In later years, he returned to his love of culture, supporting a friend's traditional jazz radio station, remaining forever connection to music and community. In his personal life, Hillyer was first married to Brenda Edmondson, who worked alongside him on The Liberator and supported Dave Treen's early campaigns. They had 2 sons, Haywood Hillyer IV, later recognized nationally for heroism following Hurricane Katrina, and Richard Quinn Edmondson Hillyer, now a member of the Times-Picayune, the Advocate editorial board. Later, he married Molly Fennell Hillyer, who preceded him in death. Haywood H. Hillyer III passed away on April 28, 2010, at the age of 72. He left behind a legacy of principled service, civic leadership, and a stronger Republican Party in Louisiana because of his efforts. And though his influence reached the halls of power, his true milieu always remained in the old second line. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Quinn Hillyer, accepting the award on his father's behalf.
Your dad did it right.
Thank you.
Put it in there.
Well, on behalf of my father, let me thank the Hall and its committee profusely for recognizing him in this way. Before I start, I just have to say congratulations to my mentor and friend Clancy Dubose. Clancy and the absolutely wonderful Margot helped give me my start in journalism and gave me a huge jump start, and I'm always appreciative. And I know my dad, before I get into what I really want to say, would just want to list 9 names of the people that back in the 60s and early 70s, when there really were almost no Republicans in the state, were the ones that he was working with and would want to thank, and that would be Dave Treen, Billy Nungesser Sr., Charlie Dunbar, Ben C. Toledano, Morton Blackwell, and moving into the 70s, Charlie Lancaster, Bob Livingston, Marilyn Thayer, and Betty Heitman, and my dad would want to thank them. So here's a story from near the end of Dad's 35 years as a volunteer political leader. At the 1991 State Republican Convention for governor, neo-Nazi David Duke knew he was about to lose the balloting overwhelmingly, so he wanted to create a diversion. At a pre-scheduled break in the action, party officials left their spots on the stage, except that my dad was sitting in a chair toward the left rear of the stage, probably reading the party rule book. That's when I saw Duke sneaking along the outer wall of the convention hall towards the back of the stage. Suddenly, Duke ran up the stairs, back left, and made a beeline toward the podium. Dad heard the commotion and stood up. Just 5'8", 150 pounds, he literally adopted a football blocking stance to hinder the path of Duke, who at 6 feet, 180, was about 15 years younger. Duke saw him, threw aside a chair, tried to make another path to the podium. Dad threw aside a chair and blocked his path again. Duke threw aside another chair, and this time was too quick, darting past Dad toward the podium. But the delay and the commotion had alerted State Chairman Billy Nungesser, father of the wonderful Lieutenant Governor, and Nungesser rushed to the podium, got there 2 seconds before Duke, and grabbing the podium with a vice grip, could not be budged. Duke was left wandering weakly around the stage before losing the endorsement vote by a huge margin. Now, in retrospect, Dad's brief physical encounter with Duke created a nice full circle moment. 35 years before, Dad had begun in conservative politics by being inspired by National Review magazine. In the most famous line in the first ever editorial in National Review, editor William F. Buckley wrote tongue-in-cheek that the magazine's mission was to, quote, stand athwart history yelling stop. Well, all those years later, Dad wasn't standing athwart history yelling stop, but he was standing athwart bigotry yelling stop. He was standing athwart hatefulness yelling stop, and it was fitting. When Dad began in Republican politics, his goal was not to divide or tear down. His goal was to build something new and honorable. He told me of early 1960s congressional campaign strategy sessions in Dave Treen's house, which lacked enough chairs, so they pushed all the furniture against the wall and literally sat on the floor, looking at supersized precinct maps, my dad with his ever-present yellow legal pad, handwriting notes and instructions. That was my father's not-so-secret formula. Organize carefully, spend the time, make the phone calls, attend the meetings, do the legwork. And don't ask for anything in return except good government. For painstaking decades, Dad helped build a two-party system in Louisiana basically from scratch because the Republican Party had been all but non-existent. He almost never said anything bad about opponents. He just had dreams of providing voters with a real choice free of the old political machines. Dad had principles he believed in, of government limited and close to the people, and he thought participation in the process was a civic duty. Dad was just a volunteer, and he was an idealist. What he really wanted to do was create a better history, yelling go. With every fiber of my being, I thank the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame for honoring my father's endeavors. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. You did it right.
You made me cry, you know.